Alright, good. Let's continue with the next phase of our design. Generally, I would like to move this up just a little. Okay. Just so that it doesn't touch this other one. Another thing you can do is to move it all the way down. Good. So depending on your design concept, on your design idea, you can move it anyhow you want it. It's okay. So next thing we're gonna do is to draw a rectangle from here all the way to this place, and then we can reduce the size of the rectangle so that it matches, snaps into grid. Okay. Another way to make it snap into grid is to come here and minus a certain 370. Let's say if it's objects, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Good. So here we can say 370 minus. If we know the distance between this and this, then we can minus it from 4112. Let's say minus 20. Enter. You see, it snaps, and then we can do the same thing again. Minus 20 again. 394 minus 20 again. It has reduced, but now holding the shift key, I can actually move it so that it snaps. You see, it's snapping into grid. Now it's also two things. I can increase the size this way for now. Then with the fill color, we can set the fill color to white. White. It disappears, but that's okay. Now let's select it again. Okay. Now let's set the effects. Go to effect, drop shadow effect. Look at the moment I set drop shadow, it looks like this. Before we configure the drop shadow, let's set the border radius. Okay, so if we come here, click and drag towards the right, it increases the border radius. Well, since I already know the number I'm looking for, I'll just enter it here, 10. Enter. So it is curved. So we'll get back to the effect. Look at what it looks like for now, you see. But let's get back to, click on it, get back to effects and work on the effects. Okay, I'm going to set the y-axis to 20. Enter. And then the spread to 10. Enter. Okay, and then the opacity to 15. Enter. You see, it's too much. Let's see if we can set this to 10. It's still a little too much. Let's set it to 5. Okay, the spread, let's set it to 5 and see what it looks like. Yeah, I like something like this. Let's blur. Let's see how much blur. Let's set blur to 10. Good, this is looking good. So generally our box now looks like this. Remember, you can still play around with numbers. You mustn't use exactly mine. You can play around with numbers and determine what you want. For instance, x, put x as 5. You see? And y, you can put y as 2. Now it's looking more like what I want. Spread to be 2. Okay. Good. So I think that number made sense to me. Let me just show you one more time so that you can take note of it if you want. These are what my numbers are. All right, and this is what it created. Very beautiful. Now the next thing we have to do is to create another rectangle inside here. A rectangle, okay. Now before we start putting things inside this rectangle, we're going to write a text. So I'll create a text and say, let the text be like this. Okay. Now write into it. First of all, reduce the size from 45. I'll put the size at 15. 15, hit enter. It doesn't have to be bold, regular. Okay, what's the color of the text? Let's choose a color. I think I should write the text first before choosing a color. So you are on a 14-day streak. Okay. First of all, I'll put it to the left, and then the color. select. I have to select Control A or just click outside so that the text is highlighted. As you can see now we can change the color. So the color, we can choose one of our previous colors just to see. What of here? I think let's start with this color first. Another thing is we can try bold. This is what it looks like. But what if we try bold? What if we try regular to bold? This is what it looks like. We'll determine next whether we'll change it a little later. But for now, see that both of them are not aligned. Okay, so I would select this and hold my shift key, select this box, and align. Click this to align. So they are now perfectly aligned. Look at this, perfect. Now I'll zoom in and make sure that this box is curved. Look at this. I'll move it to, I'll click and drag, you see. So generally, since I know what I'm looking for, I can put 10. Let's see how 10 looks like. Good. So if we zoom out, look at what 10 looks like. Fine. You know how I'm zooming, right? I'm pinching my mouse pad. Now we can change this to a color. The fill color, let's say it's greenish. Yeah, something like this. I think something like this is okay. Then we get a text. Draw a text here and say 7, let's say 9.2 hours. 9.2. We'll highlight Control A, or we'll just click outside so that it will be selected. Then we can change the fill color, make it white. Let's see what white looks like on this. Good. Now the size is too small for me. I'm going to increase the size to, let's say 25. Enter. Oops, too big. So let's say 20. Enter. Okay, 20 is good. 20 is good. Let's try 22. Enter. Yeah, just perfect. Another 23. No, 22 is just the number. Oops, Control Z. So if you make a mistake, you just press Control Z so that 22. Enter. Okay, perfect. Now now we have to select another text. So we type here hours. Okay, click outside. Then we can reduce the size from 22 to 15. Enter. Okay, good. Then we change the color, fill color to white. Select white, and we pull this closer. Now this is good. So if we zoom out, here we have 9.2 hours. All right. Let's zoom in again. We zoom in. I think this is too small. I can pull this down just a little. Good. All right. If you're looking for the dimensions of mine, just look at this place. You can configure yours to have exactly this number. That's the dimensions of mine. So I'm going to put the month there. So we're going to select another text here. Now we can say January 12th. Okay. So the size is too big as usual. We'll put it at 10. Good. And we're going to make it the same color, green. So fill color, we'll look for this green. So beautiful. Beautiful. Remember that if you want to perfectly align something, you can click on it, then you use your cursor key to adjust. Now, in my own case now, I want to center this text. So I'll hold my shift key, click on this, still holding the shift key, click on this and click on this. Then I'll come here and align all of them to the center. Okay, so we align everything to the center here. Everything is aligned to the center, or you use the one here. So they are perfectly aligned to the center now, you see. You're in a 14-day streak, fine. So we're going to duplicate it right now, and before we do that, I'd like to highlight everything. Hold my shift key, click on this, click on this, click on this, and then click on the blue icon. Click. Okay, good. Then Ctrl G, or I will just right click in group selection. Now it's the same, all right? And remember that if you're actually working with a team, you need to always select change the name of the group. Instead of group 6, automatically then double click, and you can call it green streak time. Okay, name it whatever so that it can be duplicated. Now I want to duplicate it, so I press Command and D, then I drag. Oops, a Command and D, then I drag to the left. Oops. Press Command D to duplicate. Then hold the Shift key, drag. You see? Then you press Command D again. Command D, D, D. Alright. So I think that's it. Now what you notice is that I pressed Command D and held my Shift key to drag to this place. Without pressing any other thing, I released the Shift key and released my hands from the keyboard, and then pressed Command D, D, D. Now, when you do that, Figma automatically spaces the elements exactly the same. Once you use Command D, after spacing the first one, Figma does the rest for you. That's the beauty of Figma, alright? Okay, now if I can click outside, you will see that we now have what we're looking for. We're gonna change these numbers first later, but let's work on the last one. Now this last one, first things first. Okay, so I'm gonna pan to the right. You'll see that the color is it has two colors, so I can we're gonna have to ungroup. So right click, ungroup. I'm ungrouping so that I can isolate what I want to do. So I want to make the background transparent. This green, I want to make it transparent. So for instance, we can put it at 0, let's say. Oops. Then we have to put a stroke. So stroke, it takes a black color. Let me zoom in. A stroke, but we can change it right back to green. Alright, now we've changed it. We have to make sure it's kind of dotted. We're gonna make it dotted. So this is talking about the thickness. So let's see if the thickness is even okay. It's too thin. So one thing we can do on stroke is, let's say, put it at 2, enter. Yes, makes sense now. Let's see this. So these are where you do the settings. So let's say dash. Okay, so if you put numbers here and put comma, it will show you the dash between the line and the space. Now let's say I increase this. I don't know if you can see this. This is 3. I put 3,3. Let's say I put 5,3. Enter. You say that the dashes are longer. What if I put 8,3? 8,3. Enter. Good. Looking like what I want now. Now notice that there are text inside, but those texts are white. So I want to convert the text to be green. I'll hold my Shift key, select the two texts that are there, and come here. You see that they are white. I'll select the green, and good. So this is what the last one looks like, so that it's gonna show that this person has completed these dates, and then this is the last one they are on. Now one last thing I want to show you is, let's select this, come here, under stroke. You see that this is inside. Inside means that the line, this line should be inside of this line. For instance, if I set it outside, let me zoom in. If I set it outside, see what's going to happen outside. You see this line goes outside. So if we zoom in, you see that this last box will be bigger than the rest. You see it's bigger. It depends on what your design concept is. For me, I would like all the boxes to be the same size, so I'll set it inside. There are other options like center and outside, so I'll set it inside. Oh, okay, good. So far so good. I think this color is off color. Who else thinks with me that this is off color? So we're gonna try something. We're gonna try putting it on green. Let's see what green looks like. Yeah, I think this kind of looks cool. Who else thinks that? Just know that you can play around with your own colors. For now, I'm gonna choose this. Alright, so I'm gonna group. Oops, Control Z. I'm gonna group everything. Control Z. Hold my shift key, select. Okay, Control G or right click. I think I should first group this one. You know, I ungrouped it, so I'll have to hold my shift key, select, then Control G to group. Oops. Control G. Oops, what's happening? Oh, I selected the wrong. Select. The whole thing could be tricky. If you're not careful, you select the wrong box. Yeah. So Control G. Yeah, it's grouped now. So I can still hold my shift key. Select. Fine. So Control G again, or just right click on group selection. So now I can move it around. Oh, there's an extra guy here. Delete on my keyboard. Then I can drag this and make sure it's up, positioned well. Fine. All right, let's do some other thing right here. Let's select this box, draw a rectangle, and just to be sure that they're roughly the same size with this, or just a little bigger. Okay, just a little bigger. Yeah, as usual, we make this 10 rounded borders 10, and then we're gonna do something, which is put an image inside here. So there are many sites to get images, but the one I've used now is called Pexels. It's just like pixels, but with look at PEX. Pexels.com. Pexels has so many images. Another website you can get free images is Google. If you go to Google and search for food diets, and you click on images, and then you click on tools, usage rights, Creative Commons licenses. Okay, so these are these are images you can use without worrying whether you're copying somebody else's image. All right, now if we go to Pexels, we can search for the same thing, food diet. All images on Pexels are free. Well, almost all. So I'm looking for nice healthy food. Okay, healthy food collections. Cool. So healthy food. Now this is good, and these are good. This is good. All right. So I'm seeing some images I want. So I'll select one. Right click. Copy image. Fine. And then we'll come back to our Figma, and then I want you to be looking at the left corner. See that the highest is my iPhone screen, but then I'm gonna paste the image. Click, then Ctrl V. I've pasted the image. See the image very neatly pasted inside. Very smartly and neatly pasted inside, you see? Very nicely. And now, another way to do this is to Ctrl Z. Manually do that. Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z. Okay, this is where we were. So I've deselected everything, Ctrl V, paste. So as you can see, it has covered my whole screen and it's outside the iPhone. So what I can do is reduce the size and reduce the width and reduce the size. Then I zoom in, then I get it to this place. Okay, I'll drag it into what we have. Then I can select the two of them. So let's find out what rectangle is this. Keep your eyes here. So if I hover my mouse, you see that this is rectangle 5. If I hover here, you see that this is image. So I'll hold my shift key and select the two of them. Let me place this above. Select the two of them. So two of them are selected. Okay, now I can click this drop down, subtract selection. Oops. One thing you can do is to drag the image underneath. Drag this one. So once it happens like that, you want to rearrange both of them. Okay, good. So now we can do subtract selection again. Hold my shift key, select the image, subtract selection. Why is it not working? It's not subtracting properly the way I want. Yes, perfectly. So I used intersect. I used intersect to get what I want. Intersect, so it worked well. So I just showed you the two ways. Either first way is just click on the item and then boom, it works out. Second way is you do it manually the way I did it. Now we're going to put something here in terms of text. So I'm going to write text. In the text we're going to say we're doing 25% off your first purchase. Okay, or your first order. Now first things first, spread this off. Secondly, double click so that I can Control A, select everything, or Command A, go to the right and change the text color to white, all white. Beautiful. Come back, drag this thing a little, extend. Good. Now I have to increase the font size individually. For instance, double click, select this one, make it really big. Here just put 30, enter. Good. I think this should be buy, your first buy. Okay, so first thing you notice is that it's not easily readable. It's not quite readable. Look at this. So because the first is on top of some banana, so one thing I can do is to put a shadow background. So select rectangle, draw a rectangle over it, and if you look at the right, you see that that rectangle is above the text. If I drag the text above the rectangle, I see that the text is now above, but now the rectangle, we need to work on it. Scroll, the rectangle, we dragged the text. Let's select the rectangle. I've selected the rectangle. You can select it from here or select from here. So you see that the color is gray. We need to make it black, and then we make it transparent, and then we make it linear and drag. All right. Now another thing I would have preferred to use is instead of rectangle, it would have been amazing if we used a circle. So delete. I'm deleting the rectangle. Delete. I'll take a ellipse. Okay, a circle kind of seems better. Okay, so with respect to a circle, we do the same thing. Drag the text over it, and then select the ellipse again all the way. Good. And then here we set it to black, set it to let's look at radial, what radial looks like, but I'll prefer linear. Okay, so we can do something like this. Okay, good. Let's click outside and see. Okay, so something like this, but then we have to eliminate the outside circles. So we'll click the circle and then click this, and then we'll try one of those subtract. Oops, Ctrl Z. Try intersect. Oops. So sometimes just getting the right one is a bit of a challenge. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. Instead of wasting my time trying to figure out the way to remove this, there could be a way to remove that, in the sense that I could draw a shape here. I could draw a rectangle, and then highlight and select, hold Shift key, and subtract selection. You see, it's gone. Then I'll do the same thing with this here. So this is just a hack way of fixing the issue. Same thing with here. Then make sure the circle is selected, hold Shift key, select the circle. So two of them are selected now. I'll Ctrl Z, the arrow here, click on it, subtract selection, and it's gone. There you go. Other things we could do is to play around. Make sure that the text is on top. Look at the text here, drag it above. Oops, Ctrl Z. Make sure it is dragged well. Drag above. Yeah. Cool. So this is what it looks like. I'm not fully satisfied with everything. Look at this. I don't want this edge, so I could select, come to the right, and make sure that it's linear. Let's say I set this linear to, let's see what 50% looks like. 50, almost perfect. Then if I click on this and drag, let's see what it looks like. Okay, good. Close. Okay, I prefer it this way. So that's 25% off. Like, you can come up with your own designs and eventually make something a little better than mine if you have more time. Design is about having the time and patience to get what you want once you know what you really want. Now I've done this. I have to group it. I have to group everything. Select, hold my Shift key, select, select, and select, and then right click and group selection. Now it's grouped. Let's do one last thing, which is add shadow. So if you go here, you see under effects, you see drop shadow, and look, it has already added drop shadow. Now you can leave it at the same settings we have, or you can play around with the drop shadow. You can just play around with your spread and your blur 7%. All right, play around with x-axis, y-axis, and whatever. To me, I just feel that this is okay. Then let's do Ctrl D, and hold the Shift key, click and hold, then drag. Okay. Then release and do Ctrl D again, Ctrl D. You see? Click outside. So it is now well pasted. Paste out. Okay, now one more thing that we can do is to change the pictures. If you double click, it could give you the background, in which we can go to pixels, food diet, or we go to Google and look for nice ketogenic food this, and copy. I prefer pixels, but in Google, look, you can actually read up the license details, but remember that we set the license to Creative Commons. So if I come back to here, I can Control V, Command V. See, it automatically changes. So we can say 5% of your first buy. We can click this again, double click, so that we can select the box. Good. So we go back to, where is pixels? Where is this is pixels where we were. If we go all the way down, maybe we can find something good. So I copy, right back here, Control V. Since I've selected the background box, okay, fine. So this is what it is so far. Now one thing we can do is copy our cycle, Control D to duplicate it. It's duplicated now. Now I can drag the duplicate all the way down, scroll up, drag the duplicate all the way down. So to me this looks good, but one other thing you can do is to rotate it. Look at, we can rotate it. Okay. Another thing is you can make it halfway or full way. There are so many designs you can do here, or you can even extend it. Look. Okay, we're good. Then we can play around with the opacity. I can put it at 50. Hit enter. You see, something like this kind of makes sense to me. Another thing we can do is to add a button here. So let's say to add a button, we first of all need a circle. So we need a circle. That's an ellipse. We draw it here. Draw an ellipse here. Ellipse. I would like it to be perfectly here. Okay, so what color will it be? I would think it's gonna be blue or green. So let's make it green. Good. So one thing you can do is from this green now. First of all, let's add an effect. Drop shadow. Fine. Beautiful. So we can put an icon here. Let's say add icon. We can go to, who remembers our icon site, Font Awesome? fontawesome.com. I think we already have it open. Trophy icon, Font Awesome. If we go back to the back page, so on Font Awesome, you search for an icon. This icon will be create. So I've already typed it and hit enter, and it's gonna give me a create icon, something like this. Good. I think, yeah, perfect. This is what I'm looking for. Plus icon. So click on it, and we download the SVG. Download SVG. Agree and download. It has downloaded to the right of my screen. So if I go back to here, I can actually drag it. Place here. It's gonna be too big. It's quite big. So now I'm gonna hold my shift button, and reduce so that it scales accordingly. Then I click outside, then I release my shift button. Good. So here we can put it. Another thing we can do is hold the shift button, drag a little again. Good. Control Z. You must always click outside before you release. Control Z, then you click outside, then you release your shift button. Good. So you see it has snapped. I think this is cool, but black is not good for this kind of button. We have to make it white. So pan to the right, scroll up, and there we go, white. Beautiful. Now that's our button for our app. Now you let me know what you think about this interface. What do you think about this ketogenic interface? You are doing great this month, and there are a number of things that could be adjusted. For instance, the distance between this text. You know, this is grouped. We can ungroup it. Ungroup. So now it's ungrouped. We can say the distance between this text and this one. We can put this in the middle. You know. So the same thing, if this is going to be in the middle, then this also should be in the middle. So we can first of all use this to put it in the middle, and then we adjust, make sure it's perfectly positioned in the middle. Okay, which means this can be in the middle too. All these are just adjustments that you can do. Alright, another thing is to put the title of the app and the logo at the top. For instance, this one can come down just a little. Alright, then this one, hold your shift key 2 and 3 can come down just, oops, Ctrl Z, select this two. I would like to group it Ctrl G. Then I move everything once. You see? Perfect. So everything has moved down now. Now we have a chance to put our logo and the name of the app. So I don't know what to name this app, but I know we named it Keto app, or we can just call it weight loss app, okay? Weight loss. Okay, weight loss. So it doesn't look super fantastic, amazing now, but if we work on the font a little, it can start looking amazing. For instance, here, put it at 20, make it a little bold. We can work on the, I think 20 is too much, 15. Good. Other things we can do is to go to Font Awesome, look for an app, weight. I just typed weight. I don't know what it's going to bring up, but I want it to show us something on weight loss. Otherwise, we switch to, this is weight, this is weight, this is weight. Okay, I'm seeing something interesting. This could be a good logo for us. Otherwise, we'll look for something around food. Double click. Okay, while it's opening, let me open another window and search for food. So let's see what food has for us. This is food. Okay, I think I prefer the weight loss. I prefer the weight loss logo. Look at this. Beautiful. So download as SVG, agree and download, get back to our Keto app, and then we have to draw lower right corner, lower left, we'll pull, and then it's quite big, so we'll hold the shift key and pull all the way, then we'll click outside. Oops, it's lost. Ctrl Z, so we'll drag it to this place. Hold the shift key again, minimize, oops, Ctrl Z, hold the shift key, drag, click outside, zoom in. So just know that beyond dragging it around, you can actually fix it from here. You can fix it from here. So I'll hold the shift key, drag a little, cool, click, then drag, yeah. So this needs to have a color. I wouldn't know what color we're gonna give it, but it needs to have a color. But before we give it any color, let's draw a rectangle above this. Okay, so we select a rectangle, then we draw. Cool. First things first, we drag the rectangle below the weight loss, and see they are now above it. Now we make the rectangle white, then we add an effect. It's white, we add an effect, effects, drop shadow, good. You see, this is making sense. Then this can actually be bigger. The text, make the text a little bigger. Instead of pure black, we could make it a color like this. Yeah, you see. Then click outside, which should be the same color with this. Not really. So what's the color we just selected? What's the color we just selected? Okay, good. So hold my shift key to increase the size. I think I should zoom in so you see what I'm doing. Hold my shift key. So I'm just doing some finishing touches. Oops. So I accidentally pressed Ctrl Y. I accidentally pressed Ctrl Y, but if you press Ctrl Y again, it brings you back to where you were. Back to this place. Yep. Okay, good. So I'll increase the size of this. I'm just doing finishing touches. Like I said, design is about having time to run through a number of things. Good. Having your time to get the best design that you want. Beautiful. So the last thing I'm going to add here is a logo, a list menu. So let's just say list. Hit enter. And there we go. This, hit this, double click. And then, of course, download. That's opened, so download as SVG, agree and download. Right back to our design. As usual, it's gonna be bigger than expected, so hold my shift key. Oops, then release the mouse click, then release the shift key, then drag. You see how it's aligning itself. Then we'll try and make it the same color with this. Select. Perfect. All right. Good. Alright, so this is my weight loss app. What do you guys think? I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Now you got a better idea of how to build a Figma app. Based on the other app that we built, you could do a number of things more. Like me, I would love to group a number of items here so that they don't scatter when I want to move them. But outside that, every other thing is good. I'll put this at 7% just to make it look different. Everything is great. Play around with your own app, add your own features, even create duplicate screens, you know, more screens and all. But thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. See you in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Alright, and look out for my next videos and tutorials. Okay, the links to my other courses are on the screen, at the bottom of the screen. You can always go there and get more courses. Thank you.